Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are back. This is the NFT Block Gang. I'm here with Brandon and Jordan. And hey, we've been off for a little bit, but we're back again. Fun day. We got Cool Cats packs launching today. Something different we're seeing. We're seeing Cool Cats out of 20,000. So that's the highest minted amount for each Cool Cats moment. So definitely exciting and something new for us. So we're kind of seeing what the market's all about. It's been a little quiet around the NBA Top Shot market. So, but I'm pumped up. It's a good day out here. We got good weather here in BC, British Columbia, Canada. I'm feeling it. I was outside, getting the gardens ready, doing that small town life. But it's good. It's good. So, Brandon, man, what's going on? How you been? And you hit the jackpot today.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm pretty excited for the first time since I think it's Cool Cats 1. I think I was telling you guys, like, outside of pre-order packs, I have not gotten a pack literally since Cool Cats 1. So I was like, what, mid-January or like late January? I don't even remember what I was. And I didn't even really win that pack. It was just like a lottery. I got the lottery number. I didn't even get the Q. So this is like my first Q pack. I was pretty excited. So I'm probably used up all my good juju for the next 6 months on this pack.
It's gone.
I mean, I probably, obviously I probably would have wanted like the Holly legendary pack that dropped on Monday, but I'll settle for a Cool Cats pack. So I'm pretty excited for that.
That's winning right there. Jordan, how about you, man? It's I'm surprised we even seeing you on here today. We got lucky. We had to squeeze you in there. I know we could lose you at some point, but rightfully so.
Yeah, girlfriend's birthday today, so I may have to drop out at some point. Who knows? But yeah, man, not as lucky as Brandon, but honestly, Brandon, I'm happy for you, bro. It's been so long. You've been trying to get packs. Me and Ben are getting packs, every so often. You've just been striking out every time. Oh, shit. Now I got to go. I'm out. Peace.
All right, man. There it is. There is the call that you must answer if it's your lady's birthday. You got to make that happen. And
always,
we appreciate Jay Rich trying to jump on, and maybe we'll see him later. Maybe we won't. But we got a special guest fill in for Jay here. So this is actually my oldest son, Grayson, right here. Say what's up, Grayson.
Hey.
What's up,
Grayson? Grayson is working on his own little YouTube game, working on pack openings. He just kind of recently started. We haven't posted any yet, but he's got some good stuff. I've been impressed with him and his little brother. So today I was not lucky enough to get a Cool Cats pack myself, but the lady was. So Grayson decided to step in for his mom. Go ahead and do that pack opening for us. So I say we get one out the way, and then we'll chat a little more, and we'll get to yours, Brandon. How about that?
That sounds good. Yeah, it sounds real good.
All right,
yeah.
Grayson.
What's up, Nathan? How you doing, brother? Doing good? Yeah, you struck out. Now, just while Ben's getting that loaded up, I'll just kind of take the lead here. But so we had 92,500 packs, and from what I saw, there was just over 283,000 packs. So roughly you had about a 29% chance of getting a pack today, which was a lot better than Monday's Hollow Icon Legendary packs. So there was about 80,000 people in that drop, and there was only about 2,400 packs. So that was about, I think there was like a 3% chance. So a lot more people got them. There are in each Cool Cat, there's going to be 5 moments with one Cool Cat. There's Cool Cats at 20,000. So hopefully, which one do you want to see, Grayson? Which Cool Cat?
Grayson, which Cool Cat you trying to see?
Who's in it?
Ooh, Chris Paul. We got who we got? Bogdanovich. We got who else we got on there?
We got
Gordon Hayward,
and then Drew Holiday.
Probably Chris Paul.
That's a good call right there, my man.
I mean, who doesn't want Chris Paul?
That's the one. That's probably the hottest one. So, hey, I'm gonna let you do the honors here. We're gonna set you up. Go ahead. If you don't get a good pack, mom's not gonna be happy. And tell us about it as you open it.
Okay.
Drew Holiday. Oh, that's the Cool Cat.
That's the Cool Cat one. What you think?
Nice.
Tell them.
My second favorite
do you think about the serial number?
A
Yeah.
little high.
All right. Go next. Bring it over here. There you go.
Ooh. Okay.
What do you think? Tell them about it.
That's a nice dunk.
Good dunk. What do you think about Michael Carter Williams? All right, last one. Here it is. What are we hoping for? Manuel quickly. What do we want?
Risky.
3-pointer. Brooklyn. That's it. Landon Shamet.
2007.
All right. What we got? Is there another one in this one? Oh, yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, there should be 2 more. Yeah, 2 more.
I always forget. We're so used to the base.
Oh, that's a nice serial number.
Hey, what you think about mobile? Hey, so what you think about that serial number? Yeah, that's probably my favorite one so far.
Ooh.
All right, last one.
Okay.
You got the Michael Carter Williams sandwich. Oh, man. Last
the
time,
MCW sandwich.
Brandon got the Cody Zeller sandwich.
Yes.
That's tough right there.
Yeah, at least it's a good serial number.
Hey, yeah, it's a little bit better serial number for sure. All right, man. So how you feeling about that overall? Yeah, decent.
Bobo
What's your
probably-
fate?
Probably ties it in.
Yeah, the Bobo makes it a little bit better. Yeah. You think Bobo is going to have a good career? Is he going to break out eventually?
Maybe. I can't tell.
Not sure yet,
They
huh?
have Jokic, so.
Yeah, they got Jokic there too. Right. Awesome, man. Appreciate you. Love you. All right, man. There it is. Grayson coming in for his first ever live YouTube.
You did good.
And, yeah, there it is, man. So
That's a
crazy.
good serial number. It's a
Yeah,
good serial number for that Bobo.
that is a solid one. I mean, Bobo is somebody it's a high risk, high reward guy, right? He's definitely got a real interesting skill set. As Grayson mentioned, they got Jokic there too. So that's an interesting one. Drew Holiday, probably middle of the pack there. It is a lower serial number as well. What are we seeing so far on Drew? Is he one of the bottom 2 probably in value?
Let me look real quick. I know I was looking at that Bobo. The low ask in that area is about $25, $35. So that's actually not a.
That's not bad.
Actually, not no for that
Doubling
number.
it up
That's-
on one moment.
Yeah, I mean, when you're paying $14 for a pack, I mean that
Yeah.
makes actually Drew Holiday right now. The low ask is 35.
Hey, so that's a great pack. I mean, at the end of the day, like you'd love to see more. You don't want the Michael Carter Williams sandwich, right?
No.
But hey, you know what? I mean, you can you probably get your money back for the Michael Carters together or close to, right? Probably a couple dollars short, maybe 10, 11.
I mean, I feel like, yeah. I mean, I think even if you low ask them at say $5, $6, yeah, you definitely can get close to your 14. And I think that's something, that's one of the things that I think people aren't paying attention to right now. And I think we see it every single drop is right now with the cooldown being at 60 minutes, once every 60 minutes, there's just too much supply and not enough buyers.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a lot of undercutting. I know if Jay was here, he would be telling us all about the struggles. He's been trying to get a Chris Paul for what feels like 2 hours now. And he's been trying to get that, and it just hasn't worked because there's just not enough. People are just throwing them out there and getting them as low as they possibly can. I anticipate these cool cats to get somewhere around the 40 to 50 range. Most of them, I think the one that's probably going to be a little higher is CP3, just because name cachet, casual name cachet, plus the fact that he's probably out of the 5, probably the one that has the best stats. So I could see CP3 getting up to like 60, and we saw this last time, right, with the last set of cool cats where RJ Barrett and I was going to say RG3, no, RG3 ain't in, but RJ Barrett and Shea Gilgeous Alexander got up to around 120, 125, and then the other 3, Porzingis, Dragic, and Sabonis, they got to about the 90 to 100 range. I don't think these will get that high just because there's 20,000 of them.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's going to be a mark. I think if you're trying to catch the whole collection, now is the time to get them, because in about an hour or so, when the cooldown slows down, you're going to see a lot more of these things on the market.
Yep, that's true. That's true. And this is quick look at the wifey's collection so far. She's holding. So she got that
She's got them diamond
Sabonis
hands.
All-Star. That LA LaMarcus Aldridge is a little interesting now with the retirement. Decent.
Yeah.
It's a LE as well. It's a decent serial number at the 1200 mark. So that's one that could be this. I don't even know how many LaMarcus Aldridge has, but that's going to be maybe 2, 3, 4, somewhere around there. Can't be too many, but you're not going to see any more, right? Maybe one more.
Yeah,
unless he's in throwback.
Yeah, unless he's going to run it back. I don't think we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see him. And that's a shame, because I think he's one of the better players. He's got currently 4 on the market. There's a legendary, a rare. It's actually only 2 separate moments that are there.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Man.
you've got.
And she's been what else she got? Got the Bam as well. She's hit on Zion a couple times with that Zion comment that's out there.
It's a good one.
It is. Kawhi. Not too many Kawhis floating around. Still part of that Seeing Stars. I think down the road those Seeing Stars will jump back up in value a little bit, right? Being one of the first all-star type moments for Top Shot. So I think that's good. Wiseman, obviously we know about that injury. So that's some no-name dudes. A little Top Shot debut. Alec Burks. Got the Sextons. See John Wall. We just saw the Drew Holiday get pulled. Bradley Beal. I like Beal. Like Morant. This is a lower serial number, but there's that Zion again. I was telling y'all, she had 2 packs in a row where she pulled Zion out of base packs. So that's always nice.
It's crazy.
And it's then she got this LeBron out of a base pack too. So
it's also important for us to mention too that the Cool Cat Challenge is also out there right now.
Yeah.
So they put out a new Cool Cat Challenge today, and the tricky part around it is that it's only 7 days. It's not even 7 days. It expires. The deadline is next Thursday. So you can't gift. I know since we've been on, they changed the gifting moments or the gifting requirements. You have to have 20 moments in your account. You have to have an account. I think your first purchase has to be at least 30 days from now. And then there was some other requirement. But the trick with this one is because and it can't be on the marketplace for 7 days. So because you're at the point now where we're getting them now, and because it expires, I think at midday on the 22nd, you're not able to gift anybody moments. So this challenge is going to be pretty much, unless you pull out of the 10 moments that you need, the 5 Cool Cats plus Serge Ibaka, Dwight Howard, Jeremy Grant, Montrezl Harrell, and Sam Adams. So if you don't get those 10 moments, if you get 6 of them in a pack, you're lucky. But if you're not, you're going on the marketplace and you're trying to hunt in order to get that Russ Westbrook.
Facts. Crazy. Okay. Well, what was I? So I was trying to look at the Cool Cats a little bit, and my thoughts. So do we think that 20,000 is going to kind of be that sweet spot, or do we expect each one of these Cool Cats to continue to grow? Because obviously we jumped in on Cool Cats 1, and that really kind of started our NBA Top Shot journey, right? So I was lucky enough to get a Devin Booker and out of the $14 pack that, we got the email. It was an email draw, so we didn't have to wait really. So that was living the life. I love that way. I would love to see them maybe come back with that in some form. I felt a lot more efficient as far as time, but who knows? Maybe people just like enjoy waiting in the lines if you think about it. But do we see this Cool Cats just continuing to almost like lose its importance? Because that's what it feels like. But again, if you look across the board, we're seeing the same trends everywhere. And we have to remember, like, they're still not really advertising. Like, the moment we see Top Shot put out a commercial, I think I saw someone tweet this the other day, is like, what happens when they put out a commercial during the NBA playoffs and are like, hey, the first 1 million people that sign up get a free base pack? That's going to go like something like that would just, it will make 20,000 LEs or 15,000 LEs look a whole lot better.
Well, my understanding, at least from the office hours, and if you're not watching office hours or listening to office hours on Tuesdays at 5 and then Fridays at 1 with Jacob. He gives a lot of nuggets. He drops a lot of hints and a lot of things. And I personally think that right now where they're at, with 20,000 LE, when you think about how many packs were out there today, that's 92,500. So that's another 277,000 moments that are potentially, right? Because not everybody's going to open their cool cats today. There's probably going to be about, 40 to 50% of people doing it. And the other 30, 40% are just going to hang on to it, right? Because they want to, they just don't want to let go of it yet. But I do think that we'll eventually get to a 35,000 LE. And I think that might be where the cap kind of needs to go. When you think about it, 92,000 packs, that was roughly a 25% of the active signups that are there. And Top Shot refers to Cool Cats as a rare pack, even though it's not. To us, it kind of feels like it's not really a rare pack, right? Because you're paying $14 and you might get $70 out of your moments. But I think it's one of those things where, while it has kind of lost a little bit of its luster because there is a lot of them, I don't think that the intention of Cool Cats is to be similar to what we saw on Monday. And I know I keep referring to Monday because that was the legendary drop where people paid $999.
Yeah.
And you got a legendary moment, which your legendary moment is probably worth anywhere between $1,500 to as high as LeBron has been, where we're talking close to $250,000, right? That's like not, I don't want to say it's life-changing money, but for some people it might be, right?
Shoot, I'll take that.
Who wouldn't sign up for $250,000, right? And I think I think that's going to be what we're going to see moving forward. Is I think that legendary pack is going to become the kind of the crown jewel, because what we're seeing right now is Top Shot kind of has a $250,000 cap limit. Now we don't know why they have that. That's probably some internal liability thing that we just don't know the back end to. And I have seen, I think I mentioned to you, Ben, a couple days ago, that someone's selling their LeBron. I think it's the number 3 Kobe Retro dunk, and I think it's up at right now on one of the auction sites for like $387,000, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And I do think at some point Top Shot will raise that number, but in turn, I think what might actually end up happening is something like Cool Cats could even raise from $14 to maybe $29, because you're going to see, like you said, 1 million. You could see 1 million people coming for these for 92,000 packs. I don't think that Top Shot wants only 9% of their user base to be able to have the capability for a rare pack, right? I think they would want to try to keep that between 15 and probably 25% is what I think they would want to target.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting, and you could speak to this. And now I seem to be on a little bit of the same trend. But like when you haven't gotten a pack in the queue for a while, or when you're getting packs and they're just really, really basic, nothing to get excited about, like it kind of wears on you, right? It kind of takes away the excitement, and it reminds you to go, hey, we can't be so short-sighted on this thing, right? We have to, we have to look at it as somebody that's investing long-term. Can we still make $1 or $2 here and there? Yeah, we can. And back at the end of January and the beginning of February, we were like cool with making 85 cents on a flip. So, we have to go back and rewind a little bit because we got spoiled out of nowhere, right? And we have to remember, like, this is healthy to, for the market to kind of find its way. And I think the positive that I've seen is these drops are going really smooth, right? Like really smooth.
Props.
We're not seeing issues, so they're on that.
Props to Jacob and their team. Monday's drop. I was involved in Monday's drop, and I ended up getting a rebound pack off of that because I was eligible for the hollow drop. I was not even close to getting a number in that one. Actually, I was actually towards the back of the line on that one, so maybe it was just the good old reverse fortune today. And the last 2 drops have went really smooth. I have not had any issues with I have not seen the line pause for any real reasons.
Yeah.
I've seen the marketplace is still being relatively open today. They closed it. I don't quite, that was just a decision to make, but I've seen where they've left the marketplace open when packs are coming out. Yep. We're starting to see the evolution of Top Shot. And I'm going to go even to Nathan's question. I think that's a great idea. I think continuing to, maybe Ben, if we could put it up on the screen for those who maybe are listening to us later on finding and purchasing 3-digit serial numbers on star players, is that a good idea? Or don't worry about it? I think that's the plan. And I would tell you, I'm going to kind of share my strategy right now is I'm getting rid of any comments that are not 3-digit or not even anything inside of 25. I'm really kind of targeting everything inside of 10% of the mint number, right? So if it's 35,000, I'm looking for anything under 3,500. I'm not looking for anything other than that. And part of the reason is at some point, some of these 35 comments are going to be larger. Just because if you look at them, they say CC, they have CC on them, and that until they become an LE, until Top Shot makes that determination, they could print as many, they can mint as many more as they want, right? They could they could pump that number to 250,000 if they wanted.
So on one of Gemma's, it doesn't say out of 35,000. It's actually the Zion. It now says out of 34,750, but it still has that little plus. So does that mean they're done minting that, and that's going to be the number? And does the plus mean that more are coming out in packs still, or are we seeing like that was a weird one that I haven't seen? I literally just saw when we pulled that up because not out of 35,000. So super interesting there. Really, we got
someone watching. You see that?
We got a player in the building.
I see him.
But yeah, so what are we thinking? Are we thinking that okay, they're done minting? We're ending it at 34,750. But what's the plus still there for it? That's gonna be it.
Hey, he's back.
What's up?
What's up? So to bring Jay Rich back into the conversation, maybe Jay's got a different opinion on this. Jay, we're talking about common mints, right? We're talking about strategy with Nathan, and he wants to purchase 3-digit serials. And I told him that I'm looking at anything under 10% of the mint number, because right now we don't know if commons, they're saying 35,000, but they could go up to 100,000. They could go up to 250,000 as the user base begins to expand. What do you think about that?
I'm not expecting them actually to mint anymore. I think that they're pretty smart about what they've done so far, and I think they projected far enough in advance to where they know approximately how long it's going to come out. Like, as much as they say they don't know what's happening kind of week to week, Rohan has definitely made it clear that there is like also a long-term plan here, and they do have an idea as to what they want to do. So I do think that 3,500 number will remain pretty firm. I don't think they're going to change it much. But what I would say is that I don't know if I'm going to be buying any like low serial moments right now, because I just don't know where they're headed. Like, I've been in the place where I bought, I think I have a 363 Giannis that I bought that, it has somewhat held value, but it can still go down. And one of the things that scares me the most right now is that before you go on Evaluate Market, you see how many are in packs, how many aren't. So you know whether or not they're coming to that LE point or not. But now they've taken that out. They've said, okay, we're not doing that anymore because of what happened with Cool Cats 3. And so I don't think we're going to be allowed to know how many are in packs, how many aren't. It's just how many are currently minted, which again tells us a little bit, but we don't know when they're coming, what's coming, which is really kind of some of the strategy in it, is knowing how many are available, how many are out there. To kind of tangent a little bit, like Brandon, we saw it with the first moment badges, the first moment cards. It was like the Robert Williams, the Malik Monk, literally to them, because there was only 250 of them on the market. So people were flipping them and blowing up the price, hoping to try and sell it really, really high. Again, it's just a low. I was a victim of that. Out. Yeah. It's just people were trying to blow them up and then, crash them back down. And we saw them go up and now they're way back down again. I think it's very unpredictable, and it's still, there's going to be manipulation in the market. So for me, I'm looking for deals. I'm looking for price gaps. I'm looking for opportunity. I think that's the only way you're going to find value, unless you're doing things like buying a Cool Cat today and hoping to sell it in a few days, which you're probably going to make money on that unless you're buying it at $60. But again, trying to buy a lower serial number, you're probably going to end up spending more than you want. That when you try and sell it, there's no guarantee that value in the serial number is going to be worth it.
Yeah. I think when we talked, right, like I was looking at the last Cool Cat set and looking for more of those quick flips, and we talked about, I should jump on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as one, and then I kind of took the chance, went for the lower serial number, and it didn't pay off because people don't really care, because like at the end of the day, the flip is going to happen with the people trying to complete the set, and the set has nothing to do with serial number. And I think those people are going in there, making that purchase, understanding that they're going to lose a little bit of money. Like those cool cats are going to lose a little bit of value, but is it worth it to them to get that moment, you know, that they'll get as the reward? So that was a mistake for me. I think I lost, I don't know, $5, $6 on that one or something. Cause I realized quickly as we were going through the conversations and just seeing it wasn't going to sell. I got to get out. So low serial numbers, I'm all about it, but that's going to be more for your long-term plays. Do not go after low serial numbers just to complete a challenge. It's silly. If you happen to get lucky and get a low serial number because it's the low cost or it's $1 more, good for you, good on you. But outside of that, don't do it. If it's a quick flip, just call it what it is. Stay with it. Doesn't matter if it's dead last or whatever. So that's a big one. And I think I learned the hard way from that. But that goes back to our chats, right? And I think that's why we created this show and want to continue to talk about the things we learned in the good way, talk about the things where we lost a little bit. But here's how we adjusted and how we continue to adjust. And hopefully people can learn from what we're talking about as well. But I do want to push us over to Brandon. You know, we talked about right out the gates. You got lucky, man. You're ready. The luck is back. It's game time. You got your pack. So let's check it out. You ready to check out your Cool Cats pack here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man.
Let's do it.
On you.
I actually had a really good number too. I had 12,000, so I didn't have to wait too long. So let's.
He's bragging.
Oh, I missed the sound.
All right, where are we starting?
That's on you.
Let's go here. Buddy.
Not bad.
Not bad. Let's shake this up. Let's go over here. Uh-oh. Oh,
Kawhi with the
That's
mask.
nice.
Mask on Kawhi.
okay.
The max. You got the Bane.
Okay.
Oh, a TD. Oh, Jesus.
Why?
If Jay Rich had this anyway, this would not be TD. This would be Gary Trent Jr.
I'm still waiting.
Gary,
I'm still waiting. He doesn't even have a
waiting
moment
on
yet. And Terrence Davis already got traded. He's on Sacramento.
Uh-oh. Yes,
Hey.
The crown jewel, man.
There it is.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
Terrible cereal number.
It don't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Challenge
Going
card.
for $44.
Challenge moment.
Oh.
Ooh. Serial number.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
Little 5 6. Let's go.
That money's turning real good for you.
That's a vicious dunk. That's vicious. All right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a nice
That's
pack.
got to
right
be
there.
at least a $50, $60 pack. Easy. That Jimmy could probably get you
What?
30
That's
bucks.
way more than that.
Easy.
Well, the
Dang.
CP3's got you 50, you know.
Yeah,
Then
CP3
you see what
50
Jimmy
alone.
gets you. I don't know what Jimmy would get you.
Jimmy at
I don't know, but
560 gotta be like at least 25, 30.
You got to ship Jimmy off
at least.
soon. That's what I did with that Horton Tucker, man, and I got a lot of money for that.
Mask
here's the thing
Kawhi
is,
gotta
I
be
don't-
worth something too. Cool
But
little
here's the thing,
$12.
Nah, he's not. He's not worth it.
I'm not. Nah,
Jimmy's
Kawhi's worth like
$8
$9.
right now.
8? Oh, savage.
Yeah, he's like 8, 9
Well,
I'll
bucks.
take
let
it.
me see. though.
Honestly,
if you're looking
here's the
at
thing
for
with that.
your cereal, oh,
I ain't getting
damn,
$8 is the low ask.
You could get 50 if you sold
Maybe.
it. I'd say you could probably get 40 easy
For the
Yeah,
right
for
now.
Jimmy? Oh, I'll
Yeah.
take it.
yeah. I mean, 55 at
I'd say
615.
40.
Yeah, I could probably low in at 40, 45 and probably get that.
And hopefully sell it. Yeah, but
I think
again,
that- I
that's
mean-
like 5. That's 9 times. No, 5 times the bottom. Like if you sold it for 45, which is pretty good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a nice
I
pack
mean-
though, bro. For
I mean, between
$14,
those
that's
two-
a nice pack.
I mean, between those two, that's $100.
Yeah,
but
$100
And here's
for
the thing. And here's the thing. Like, I might hold that Jimmy for a little while, and here's why. Jimmy in the playoffs
Because
could
you haven't
get a
got a
little
pack
bit of
in
a
a
push.
while.
Like
That's why.
one of those things. Like, what'd you say? What you two cracking jokes? I didn't even hear what you said.
I was like, because you haven't got a pack in a while. That's why.
That's true.
He needs to hit that
Listen.
minimum for the next legendary.
Yeah, right?
Oh man.
But here's the thing: is that one of the things that I've been working on, one of the strategies I've also been working on, is picking up guys that are playoff contenders or on playoff contenders that could make potential deep runs. So
Like
guys
Jamal
like,
Murray?
no, rest in peace,
Not
rest
anymore.
in peace to his knee,
Not anymore,
rest
man.
in
Jeez.
peace, Canadian basketball.
Yeah,
But
seriously.
Damn.
guys
Hey,
like
bro, why you got to do
guys
that
like-
to me right now? Why you got to? Come on, man.
I'm dunking on you like Jimmy.
Come on, man.
Or TD. But I think
Mm.
the reality is like, guys, what happened last year? And again, this is not past success does not equate to future gains, right? So this is not financial advice. Got to put that disclaimer out there. Not financial advice here. But one of the things that I have picked, only entertainment, pure entertainment, is picking up on guys that are on playoff teams, because there was a playoff push to a lot of moments during the playoffs. So guys like Jason Tatum, guys like Jimmy Butler, guys, and I mean, everybody kind of raced towards Tyler Hero last year. You know, who's going to have that Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero kind of run this year? Could it be Kawhi? Possibly. Could it be somebody like Kyle Kuzma, who was in some of these new packs? Possibly. He's shaking his head no, but somebody's going to.
It's not going to be Kyle.
Somebody's going to have, but he could have one game, and all you need is one game to have a one-game bump. And so guys like Marcus Smart, guys like Jaylen Brown, guys like Tatum, guys like Danny Green.
All the net stars, obviously, right?
Yeah,
that's
right.
That's
guys like that are going to have long, deep playoff runs. I'm trying to look at and see, is there a way to, get them at a low number, because it might move their common from 18, 19. Like Durant right now is at 25. Well, he might push to 31, 32. I know it doesn't sound like a ton, but holding it.
He's an extreme case, but you think about like some of them, they're at $10 or less. Like Kawhi, $10. Paul George, if you want to go after him, about $10. I think Kyrie, same thing, like under $15. They're cheap. If you got a little bit of money to start just popping a few of them in there. Because they're not really.
And it only takes a couple bucks. I mean, hey, you're not going to see, $8 turn into 200. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But when we're looking for like market inefficiencies and what people are going to want to jump towards, like, I mean, I just saw a couple weeks ago when Jalen went for a 32 and 10 against the Knicks. All of his moments seem to get like this little pump, this little spike. It happens. Steph's had a bit of a recent bump this week because of his blow-ups that he's had in 6 quarters. Like, right? Like, so when we're looking for who are we targeting, guys who are hot, guys who are going to be on playoffs runs. I'm targeting a lot of Jordan Clarkson right now. He's the presumptive 6th man of the year, right? Another guy that you probably want to keep a look on is Joel Embiid, right? Presumptive. I mean, right now, Jokic is still the odds-on favorite to be the MVP, but I would not be surprised if Joel Embiid can stay healthy, that man is going to be the presumptive MVP. And what kind of spike are we going to see because of that, right? So these are the kind of things that you kind of just got to look at in the market and see, is there an opportunity to jump on a guy? And look at that, Kyrie Irving, $9. You mean to tell me that man can't drop 50 in game 1 of a playoff, and all of a sudden that doesn't go to 13?
$20.
Well, the other guy that you didn't mention is Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Right? You talk about already CP3. Devin Booker could be another guy that just blows up for 50, 60 in a playoff game. Like, those are the guys you want. Those shooting guards, those shooters can get you, 50, 60 in a playoff game, like legit. We know Booker can do it. Any game he can do it.
And I think those are like great call outs. And you have to look like right now, small market teams are at a disadvantage in the regular season. When you put them on that national TV stage for the playoffs, like, I'll just take it even one step further. Like, go after those small market teams that are going to be in the playoffs. That's when, like, a dude like Lillard, that's still getting crazy disrespected, like, because people don't see it. Now, if he was on on ESPN every night, Lillard is going to do have a big game or a big play every single night, and people are going to go crazy, and then it just builds momentum on social media. You go type type any of these players that you're thinking about. Go type them in on YouTube, and if you see a bunch of recent stuff, it just gives you an idea that this is somebody that is front and center. He's on the stage right now. So getting ahead of it, I love that idea. I think taking it further, saying I'm going to go after playoff teams from small markets, whoever their star is going to be, because stars are going to step up, period. Like they're going to have to. It's the playoffs. So you're going to feed them.
Donovan Mitchell too, right?
Yeah,
the number one team in the West right now. They're
still
first
acting like they're eighth. Still acting like they're eighth, right?
I mean, I just picked up this morning, or 2 days ago, I picked up a CJ McCollum. Because CJ. I mean, we all look at Dame and how great Dame is, but CJ on many other
CJ
teams.
Is clutch.
I mean, one of the things I will say is if you're gonna go in on this, try to be careful on which moment you choose. The rarer the moment, the harder it is to move it. So, like, I have a couple S1s, they ain't moving. I've had this Jaylen Brown. I bought it. Maybe Ben, you can pull it up. If you could type in Jaylen's name into the chat, type in Jaylen Brown, and then it is the common out of 1,000. So it's the one right there. Oh, go back down.
10,000?
No, 1,000. It's the second column. It's that second row. It's the one all the way to the left. It's that dunk right there for 550. Yep, I've got that moment. And if you look at selecting, if you want to jump into the low ask, because it actually will be a good exercise for people. And if you can go by lowest ask, this is something I look at. You see the gaps there, like 550, 559, 570, 575. I mean, 5 move, and then scroll down just a little bit farther. I mean, look at those gaps before you hit mine. 575, 599, 630, 649, 650. I mean, shoot, you one night can do 6 or 7 of those, and all of a sudden you go from 550 already up to 700.
And that's it. Like I went and picked up and we talk a lot about the lowest values. We talk a lot about the commons, but if you got a little bit of extra to spend, or if you're willing to consolidate some of your other moments that you're not, looking into for the long term, I was able to pick up Alonzo the other night out of $299, and I picked it up at $950 because I saw the gap was $250. Now that next lowest sold already, so now I'm like at low in the 1300s, and I picked it up at $950, like, I don't know, 10, 11 days ago. And it literally went up $300, I think, by the next day because of those gaps. And I just happened to see it. So when you look at those higher ones, they're not going to move as fast for you, but for the long run, they're not like anybody in that Ball family. Okay, LiAngelo, we're not going to talk about him, but we're talking about Lonzo or LaMelo. Those guys, they're not really going to lose value. Like Lonzo is starting to heat up. You're starting to see him shoot at a crazy clip from three-point land. There's talk about they were trying to move him at the trade deadline. Some of the destinations he could have gone to were really big market teams. So there is just only, to me, an ability to continue to grow. But in the short term, that gap was there. So I felt safe short term. And I know that I could lose that gap and still not lose money. But now for the long term, I'm looking at Alonzo Ball that, on a rebound, it's pretty nice play, rebounds a ball, and he just does a regular chest pass full court to Josh Hart. Josh Hart has pumped up that moment because he's all over it, right? He's the one scoring on the other end. Josh Hart's all into NBA Top Shot. So those are all the pieces of the pie that I think are important as you have a little more money to spend, just like this Jaylen Brown in that 550 range. I think that the gaps get better and better. It's cool, and you build your way up. Like we were making 85 cents on flips, and that's cool. And we felt great about it. We bragged on our little chat group. We're like, boop, just made another 80 cents. Like Jay's like, what are y'all doing? It's like y'all hit me up 4 times. He made like $2.40 or $3.20, whatever it is. And you know what? But we felt good, and I think we gained some experience because it really just shows you what to look for. And now just multiply that, put it on a little bit bigger scale as you build up your collection, your dollar amount. But we're not like the smartest dudes on the planet. We could have all sold. We had some good moments. We could have sold at the end of February when it was high. And we're like, nah, this is going to keep going. Like, I was like, what was I telling you guys? Like, I'm feeling it. I think by my birthday, I think this could hit $100,000. And I was at, I don't know, 17 grand, I think, at my high. And then it just bottomed out, man. I've been as low as like $6,000. So I think it's about patience, and it was definitely a humbling experience. Something that made me look at it from the other side, a little more, I don't want to say pessimistic, but in a little more of a way that I think will help me in the long run. So that it's not all easy money, and that's not what Top Shot's about. And they're blatantly telling everybody, like, we're not trying to build it for you guys to make 10 grand in a week. That's not what we're here for. But I'm telling you, if you're smart and you pick up some of these things that we're going after, you can make 200 in a couple of days. Like, it's possible. You're going to have a little more skin in the game to do that. But if you don't have a lot of skin in the game and you're like, hey, I'd be happy if I made $5 in a day. Guess what? Come talk to us. Come try some of these things. You can make $5 in a day. How many games are you out there playing on your Candy Crush or whatever, Mobile Strike or whatever damn game you're playing? You're playing that for free. And then if you really get addicted to it, you're paying $6 to go get a stupid pack. How about you go play this game, make a cool $6? Like, that's the difference. And it doesn't matter whatever level you are on. I fully believe you can make something, you can learn something. And at the end of the day, if you get quote unquote stuck with your moments, that's a good thing. Be okay with that. Hold that. Because I promise you, these moments are not going to just, like, I really believe we're kind of at that quote unquote bottom. We're going to be there. It's going to continue to trend in the right direction. Just kind of start to flip some things. Be okay with taking a loss if it's something that you don't believe in 1 year is going to be worth a lot more. Flip that into something else that's at a value at, or in the dip at the same time as yours, and watch it grow and watch your account flourish. I think there's a lot to go here, and we're just getting started. Still, that's the part we got to keep remembering.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I think there's, we still haven't seen the Asian market grow. We still haven't seen even the American market really grow. Most of the accounts are really actually Canada.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of them are Canadian based. So, I mean, when we talk about, today, Mark Cuban investing in Crypto Slam and, Evaluate Markets, jumping on, with sponsorships. I mean, there's ways that, people are investing in these NFTs, and this is only the beginning for the NBA. I mean, I know that Topps is kind of working with, trying to get baseball NFTs, and Roham and Topps have been kind of going at it pretty petty wise the last couple of days, and it's been pretty funny to watch. But I think when you're looking at growth in this piece and how, you look at crypto, right? Look at crypto. Take this whole piece for this blockchain, for an example, right? A couple of years ago, Bitcoin spiked, right? Went from like nothing to 20 grand. And then it pulled back hard. And now look where it's at now, right? It's almost 3 times that number. So we're not saying that, Top Shot's an investment, and it's a long-term investment, right? Your moments, the moments that are now, I mean, I still anticipate that we're going to see $2 to $3 moments in the near future. I do see that happening because there is, from what I remember, there's like 3.25 million base packs that were available from Series 2. So there's still a lot of base packs, and a lot of them are still to come. There's still a lot to be distributed out into the market, right? Today, like I said earlier, a little over 250,000 moments are now back out into the field, right? And so now, there's going to be some lowering. Look at that MCW at $4, right? Like the long right, $4. Brooke Lopez, $4. These guys are going to go down into the $2 to $3 range. And it's going to make it accessible for people to jump back in, because when we first started this, Ben, how many $1, $2 moments did we scoop?
So many. I can't even
we
count.
had so many.
I got stuck. That's what I was talking about. Like, I got stuck with, like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 $2 moments. And that's how I actually built. It wasn't even on bigger moments. I built what I got, like, in terms of rookies and all that, from $2 moments that I got stuck with. Ended up having to sell them for $60 to $80. These moments that were $2. So there's like, it happens. These things are going to drop again. $1 moments have always been hard to scoop. You see them.
Yeah.
You probably click on it. I mean, I never tried it with good internet. I got a couple with bad internet. So who knows what would have been, but it's crazy. So I definitely think we're going to see them. We're going to probably see $3 ones tonight, to be honest. Like, if you keep refreshing, you're going to see somebody that's like, I don't want to wait for $4. I got a bad serial number. Boop, $3. Click,
I got a 30,000
I'm in there.
serial number.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see it. And we're not saying that, like, oh, common moments. If you see a $2 or $3 common moment, like it's going to go to $200 in 3 to 6 years. Like, nah,
but go get it. Go get your 80 cents though. Go get
But
your
yeah.
80 cents though.
But I
Why
mean, if
not?
you see a $2 to $3 moment and all of a sudden they double the user base, well, guess what? Where the heck are they buying moments from? They ain't buying. They're not gonna, if they're not getting them out of packs, they're gonna come to the marketplace. And if enough, we've seen too many times where moments get a run, and all of a sudden, like what we thought was a wall at like $3 or $4 or $5, that wall comes down real fast when 50 people are buying it. And all of a sudden it goes from $3 to $6, and all of a sudden now your $2 moment just made you 100% return.
That's it. I do want to touch on one thing before we kind of get out of here, unless you guys got some more topics too. But I do want to touch on, we know UFC is coming next. So what's kind of your thoughts? UFC is coming. We know there's some sort of partnership with NFL. We're pretty excited with that, obviously with our ties with fantasy football. And now we're seeing like other brands, they're so rare for soccer. They've been out there. Now Topps is doing these cards. They're literally digital cards. They don't even move or nothing. That's what Rohan was like calling them out for. Is like, be more creative. Like, you guys are making us look bad. Step it up. But what do you got? What's your feeling? Like, are you guys like, okay, I've learned a lot from Top Shot. Let me start investing, or at least researching at this point what's about to come. I know all three of us have signed up for the UFC updates. I think we're all going to probably jump into that pretty early in the game and see what happens, at least dabble in it and kind of understand that trend. But what's your thoughts on what's to come? Because I think it's going to be here. Like, next week, we could get a random announcement. Boom, it's here. Like, we don't know. It could be in 3 months. We just don't know. But it's close. It feels close. Now that we're seeing Top Shot seem to at least level out everything in terms of processing and how things are working, it feels like they are almost ready to unleash another product.
Yeah, I think, Ben, to kind of add on to what you're saying before about the pricing and the structure of what's going on, my biggest concern really is like, we don't really know which way it's headed, but what I would say as far as the long term, I think we're expecting at some point to see another boom. We don't know when that's going to be. We don't know how big it's going to be. But I think at some point, you're going to see another big spike in the market. And before it was mostly driven by Gary Vee and Jake Paul and all these big time people being like, this is NBA Top Shot. You see it in ESPN, Bleacher Report. All these places are like, Top Shot's like this new big thing. So everyone's getting into it. But now everyone that's interested in it is already in it. So you talk about UFC. I think a lot of people will be ready for it. For those that are watching, I believe the website is UFC on Flow. And that basically is talking about the Flow blockchain, which I think it's important people understand. The Flow blockchain is actually owned by Dapper Labs, the creators of NBA Top Shot. So as far as the process, I think that's the good thing about working within Dapper's, interface, UI, whatever, is that we're going to understand it a lot faster than we understood Top Shot, because it'll probably be very similar, it'll probably be built the same way. I don't see them making it too different. So from that standpoint, if you're in Top Shot, you should have a pretty good understanding of the UFC. And I'm excited for UFC because as much as like a game winner is exciting, on Top Shot, it's kind of not. There's nothing really special about it. But I think like a really big knockout or a really big submission could be really, really cool on the UFC product. And I think a lot of people are going to gravitate to those types of things, like a knockout, a submission, or whatever. A basic strike sequence, I don't know if that's going to be, much of anything, but I think getting into it early, setting a bit of money aside for it, that's a great way for you to just kind of ingratiate yourself in the product. And I think that's where we started from the very beginning, is that we're just trying to get in on this because we want to see what it's about, learn some things about it, obviously communicate these things to you guys and some of the things we're trying to do to make money. But most importantly, it's just about ingratiating yourself in the product and trying to figure out what is it about, because ultimately we may see this become a bigger and bigger thing beyond sports. Like everything could be NFTs by the time 5-10 years comes around. So you should at least familiarize yourself with the products and kind of learn about the process and all these things that go into NFTs, because for all we know, it could be the future of collectibles entirely. And I think that's really important for us as far as where we're at right now and where we're headed in the future.
Yeah, I think, we've heard Roham and the team hint at, partnering with the NBA to the point where, obviously once COVID resides a little bit, hey, you go to a game, I got such and such moments, I'm at such and such level, as far as my my ranking or whatnot on Top Shot that I get VIP treatment based on that, or some sort of status treatment based on that. Man, when he's going after tops, I don't think he's going after tops just for having a 2D card that's not moving. I think he's going after tops to being like, hey, if I'm gonna have a competitor, like I want to see somebody like raise the bar, so I have to come back and raise the bar again. Like that's the vibe I get from this team, and that's what makes me excited. So whether it's UFC, it's NFL, it's NBA, it doesn't really matter. It can be music. We've already seen some things with as far as concert tickets in the NFT world. Things like that, like just the possibilities are endless, and that's what's exciting. So I would rather be on the side of, hey, I'm in there, I got something invested. I don't know how much, and I'm still learning along the way, but just continue to gather the information. It's all a risk at the end of the day. Jay has always talked about that. He said that to me up front. He's like, man, put in what you can be okay with losing. Right. At the end of the day, you could lose all of it. It could just be like, oh, boom, Top Shot's gone, or UFC's gone, or NFL's gone. Like from a NFT standpoint, that could happen. So just be willing to have that risk and understand that in the back of your mind. But if you can, and you're trying to have fun with this, and you're like, I'm going to put a little bit this way, and I believe in it after my research, go do your thing. At this point, I posted this on here because this UFC piece, but this is by Dapper Labs, UFC. Put your email in there. I highly recommend it. It's ufc.onflow.org. Go on there, put your email in, get the information, and just research along the way. If you're already into Top Shot, you're enjoying it, you want to learn more, research along the way, and you may have an opportunity to get in early if it's something that you feel like it is right for you.
I think that, I think I echo what you both are saying. Do your homework, do your due diligence, right? I mean, you would do your due diligence if you were going into the stock market and investing, right? This is an investment for yourself. You would be doing your DD on, if you were buying just regular trading cards from somebody on eBay or somewhere, your reputable site, right? You would be doing your due diligence anyway. So do your due diligence on UFC, do your due diligence on the NFL and the MLB. I mean, yeah, we expect these things to come out. We expect that, there's going to be, an NFT. Now, whether it's with Dapper or with somebody else, that still remains to be seen. I mean, I know that Dame Lillard's done his own individual NFTs for charity. I think that this is definitely going to be an option of collecting for people. I don't think that trading cards will go away completely. I don't think that because there's still people who hold that sentimental value to that card, right? That still will be a thing. And so I've said that from the beginning. I think that this is just another opportunity for people to get in. Now, how much you want to invest into it, that comes down with your own due diligence and what you feel you're comfortable with, right? If you feel comfortable with 500, go 500. If you're comfortable with 50, do 50. Like dabble in it. I mean, I started with 25, and I've put in a little bit more now since, just because I believe in the product and I believe in what's going on. Have I lost on certain moments? Yeah, I've taken L's on moments. Shoot, I had a Kevin Durant that I sold for 55 last night. I bought it for 130. Yeah, I took a big old L because I did exactly what my old strategy was. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and you got to be okay with that, and you got to be able to walk away. And I'll be interested to see, like, I know that a lot of the people that follow us, a lot of people are fantasy football players, and a lot of people, love the game of football. I'll be interested to see how, we talk, like Jay was talking about earlier, like UFC having knockouts and submissions. Like, what are we going to see from the NFL side? Are we going to see good, like, really, like, I would imagine like the Odell Beckham one-handed catches, against the Cowboys. That moment, I'm a Giants fan. I'll pay up for that one, right? I will pay probably more than I'm comfortable with paying, but I also don't want to see, Quentin Nelson. I want to see Quentin Nelson pancake blocks, the one where he's screeching coming around the corner. Like, I want that noise. I want to hear him scream like he's the water boy, like coming around on that pole block. Like, I want to see that.
But I don't want to see power. That's like the power of NFT. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I don't want to see, like, Eric Fisher at left tackle pancaking, Jadeveon Clowney. I could care less about that moment, right? We have a lot of that right now, and I hope that Dapper is kind of picking up on that. Like, there's a lot of moments that are in the NBA market that, like, I'm just kind of like, I could care less if I even see that moment. Like, that's just a bad moment. I'm not going to spend any money on it. But like the ones that are legitimate, or like, you know, the secret Trey Young moment that a lot of people are talking about with the Kobe tribute, like that's like, it's not a great 3-pointer. It's just any other 3-pointer. But the fact that it has the Kobe tribute in it, that's huge. That's going to be something that, you know, what are there going to be those kind of things that, what kind of lessons are they going to learn from the NBA that they're going to transpose onto future markets with UFC, potentially the NFL, potentially NHL and MLB? Like, I'm interested to see what lessons are being learned.
Do you think they're being learned though? Like, I think what you're talking to as well, like that speaks to what it's all about, is that the common moments shouldn't be like exciting when you get a card and it's just a regular card. Like that's not like a thing you don't want to pay anything for. So I think that's just part of the game, you know, like as much as we want every moment to be a really cool, impactful moment, you still got to have stuff for regular collectors, for people who are just, you know, hanging out, want to get in on the platform. I'm interested kind of though to see what ends up happening, because I'm assuming you heard about the NFL partnership too. The NFL partnership with FanDuel, DraftKings, and was it Caesars or MGM? Like massive partnership, I'm sure. We're talking about like multiple billions of dollars in the betting market. And I think all of that shows you is that these things that seem niche and, you know, were kind of frowned upon previously, they're slowly starting to gain traction with all these major sports conglomerates. And I think that only speaks volumes of the larger acceptance of collecting and betting and DFS and all these things that are revenue drivers for all of these businesses, right? At the end of the day, it's about making money. And if Top Shot's printing that they got to pay out to the NBA for licensing, why isn't the NFL in on that? Why is MLB in on that? Why isn't UFC in on that? Like, everyone wants their cut of the money, and all of us clearly are willing to spend the money on these moments.
I mean, shoot, Dapper made $1.3 million in 2 hours today.
Yeah,
on those 92,000 packs
regularly.
They did 2.4 the other day. 2.4 quick ones.
Like they just, and that's literally just on the packs. That's not once they kick those 5% that they catch us for on every single moment, right? Like, you know, I mean, I know you got it pulled up right there, Ben. Like, you know, guys like MJ, guys like KD, guys like Cube, like these guys are investing into this stuff right now because they know, like. And normally, like, this is also with the stock market. Smart people get in before everybody else does.
That's it. So you don't think, you don't think that MJ and Mark Cuban are doing their research or having their teams do their research, then bring them to this and then be like, this is where we need to divert some of your cash flow. This is it. And you know, whether it's probably an educated risk. Right?
Yeah, I think it's a risk. I mean, but when you're looking at how many people came in on that $305 million investment, right, Jay? Like, we're talking, you know, I was listening to the I Am Athlete podcast on my way down to, I'm in New York right now. And I was listening to the I Am Athlete podcast from 2 weeks ago. And Andre Johnson was talking about, you know, how, you know, distribution with a solid, good team, right? Instead of taking the calculated risk on a $500,000 project and him fronting all of the money, he would want to hit up 5 people to do $100,000 to make that $500,000. I think you're seeing that with this $305 million. It's not just Michael Jordan pumping $305 million. He could, right? Like, that's just one shoe. That's one shoe drop.
Yeah,
like $300 million. Like, and for him, that's nothing, right? But he joined so many other people within that drop that he was able to, like, he's mitigating the risk. He probably put 5 to 10 million of the Jordan brand in, and if that multiplies tenfold over the next 18 months, who really cares, right? Like, he's instantly made more money on it than he probably ever would have made had he not jumped in.
Well, I think a great example, right? And you look at Kevin Durant, for instance, and the only reason why I know this story, I think, is because I follow one of his Instagram accounts for the boardroom. And so people who aren't involved in the stock market, they don't know that Coinbase went public. I don't even remember exactly what Coinbase does. Do you know what Coinbase does? Are they into Bitcoin?
Coinbase? They are. Yeah. So Coinbase is it's the application that a lot of people utilize for trade crypto. So like buying and selling Bitcoin, Ethereum, like the major players, not Dogecoin, which everybody, you know, that nonsense, but the major players.
So like, for instance, I don't know how many years ago this was or when it happened, but Kevin Durant actually invested in Coinbase when they were only worth $1.8 billion. And currently today, they're worth $60 billion after they went public 2 days ago. So you think about a guy who has already shown us that he's willing to invest in things that he believes in, that he's done his research on. He's a guy, again, who just this week showed us when it was at 1.8 billion, I said, you know what? This is the future. I'm going to put my money into it. And the dude, who knows how much money he's made, but think about when he invested in it, it was 1.8 billion. It's gone up 30 times already since he invested in it. Probably, maybe it was 5 years ago, maybe it was 10 years ago. Who cares? But it's showing you the growth of Bitcoin, of Ethereum, and all these things. These company worth 1.8 billion that today is worth 60 and is still growing because now it's a public company. People are buying into it. The stock price is $300. So again, it's still may continue to go up. So seeing guys like that who already have a history of success investing in companies early, that should tell you something too, that maybe there's something to this, that if they believe in it, if Hume believes in it, another guy who's been very successful in his own right, investing in companies early, that maybe we should at least figure out what it is. Like I said, if you don't want to put your money in, don't put your money in. But when this thing is public, the information is out there available for you to learn, you should at least try and learn something about it. Because even for me, I didn't do that with Bitcoin. I didn't do that with cryptocurrency. I was like, I'm not even going to go there. It sounds risky. I don't want to do it. But now it's become more accepted. And so for me, I'm like, okay, maybe it's time for me to learn more about this. I have more money than I had back then. My buddy in college, he was investing in Bitcoin, like we're talking 5, 6, 7 years ago. He was making, back when it wasn't that expensive. Well, compared to now, it's much more expensive. And it was crazy when I knew the stock market, but he was like, oh, it trades 24 hours. I'm like, what? Like, are you crazy? Yeah. Like, so you tell me you'd be sleeping, it could go way down. He's like, yeah, bro, that's just how it works. But this is, it's showing you it's going up.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it Russell Kuhn that decided also last year to be paid in Bitcoin instead of his actual?
Yeah.
He got paid in Bitcoin instead of like a traditional salary. Like, paid him in Bitcoin. And like he bet on himself. He bet on it. And I think it, obviously it doubled. So his contract went from like, a couple $1 million to all of a sudden, double, triple that.
Yeah, he made he made so much off of that.
Right. I mean, I think that, when we're talking about NFT and we're talking about blockchain, it's very important to understand like a lot of that is transferred through the cryptocurrency. And so like that security and that safety is there. Right. But there's also a lot of volatility to it. And I think you're seeing with, some volatility, in the crypto market, you saw a little bit of dip in values here on certain things because people were, they didn't have the kind of free capital. So I'll be interested to see, how this all plays out. I feel like, we've had to pull back. It was a little unsustainable, that crazy run in February where, for 2 days, it felt like literally it didn't matter what you put up at whatever price, people were just buying it and scooping it. And now we've seen a lot of those prices crater back down to where are reasonable levels for a lot of moments. Do I think, there will be an elevation of some moments? Yes. But I think it's going to be a lot harder to push the entire market from where it is now because there's 35,000 moments or those 35K moments. I think it's going to be a lot harder to move those things from $3 to say $50.
That's it. Man, I apologize. I think I'm in between satellites out here on the Starlink. So jumping in and out. But hey, it's, I wanted to touch on something that you guys were talking about a little earlier. When you're talking about potentially going into NFL, you think about sports cards from the NFL world. It's very much about rookie quarterbacks. That's what you're going after. Even star rookies on offense are like just not, the value doesn't reach the same, definitely a little better than defense. But you're talking about a defensive rookie, even if it's like a Chase Young or whoever, and value is out the door. It doesn't matter how great of a player they are. They're on defense. It doesn't matter. They're out there. Like, we're not even going to pay attention. I think the power of NFT potentially could raise that, right? And really kind of change the game for us. It might affect things like fantasy football, tying it back in. IDP, right? There's a small group out there that's really trying to grow IDP. We've talked about scoring settings, things like that in the fantasy football world. But really, the broken part about IDP is defense outside of highlight hits and big hits. It's just not paid attention to, right? It's not something we crave in terms of collecting. So I believe that NFT could make a huge impact when it comes to that. in raising the popularity of defensive players. And you might even start to see that stuff trickle into the game, right? In terms of, how guys are paid down the road, because at the end of the day, these contracts, yes, there's important positions in football and this and that, but I also think it's how much are these guys contributing to putting fans in the stands at the end of the day. So over 10, 20 years, we could really see a crazy impact and shift and just create another platform. And I think a lot of these smarter players are going to jump on and go, I'm getting in on this because this is my chance to like put my brand out there on another level, right? This is social media to the extreme for us. And you're seeing that with the NBA players, because who was the first ones we saw jump on? It wasn't the A players, because they already got that brand. It was all the other dudes that are trying to get those contracts, trying to get those endorsements, trying to pick up the fans so they have a better overall value. Those are the guys that jumped in and were loud about Top Shot. They're like, I'm in, I'm streaming today. I just learned about it an hour ago. Top Shot, can I get a pack? Let's go. And I feel like it could be the same across all sports. It really could just raise the level. So that's the power of NFT. We've already talked about what it can do for the fans, but from an athlete standpoint, I just feel like we're going to continue to see massive investments just for the chance of them reaching that ceiling.
Yeah, I think it's all going to be another asset that a football player or a hockey player or a baseball player or a UFC fighter can utilize in their brand growth. I think that's just what we're going to see it as, right? We're seeing, guys right now in the NBA like Halliburton and Hart and Michael Carter-Williams, guys that are not necessarily, guys that are superstars, but guys that, when you say Josh Hart or Tyrese Halliburton around the Top Shot world, they're like golden gods, right? Like they are the premier NBA players that are engaged on Twitch and engaged on YouTube, where they're opening packs in front of 1,000 to 3,000 people a night. I mean, that's just what it is. And I could see, somebody like Odell Beckham, or I'm trying to think of guy like Rondale Moore, who's on Instagram, like guys that are big already with their social media presence that are going to utilize and leverage their positions. That when these kind of packs drop for the NFL, like I'm interested to see how these guys really, because there's going to be some like lower in the boom moments that they're going to have. And, we talked about this, Ben, I think the last time when we had our live stream, when we talked about the Mike Connolly, right? The Mike Connolly moment being narrated. I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of like with the football, like being able to like understand, I was in zone coverage, or I was in, man, we were in press man over here on this side and we saw this. Like, it'll be interesting to see not only the moment, but the moments leading up to the moment. I think that'll be fun for the fans to hear.
And imagine what it can do for, something like the Pro Bowl in the NFL, right? The Pro Bowl is something that we just like laugh at now, right? Dudes aren't willing to hit each other. Like, people don't even really want to watch it. I've tried really hard the last 5 years to be like, it's still like the star players. The competition parts are fun. As soon as the game starts, it's like the worst game you ever did see. Like, it's just these dudes, like there might be one dude in the whole game that's willing to hit, and it's his first Pro Bowl, and they're gonna look down on him for it. But now imagine if we're somehow tying NFTs and there's these potential Pro Bowl moments, and they're narrating it, in the moment on the field, right, on the sideline, because you could pull something like that in the NFT world. You're not gonna do that during a real game, most likely, but during Pro Bowl moments, I just see a lot more creativity, and it's just gonna, again, it goes back to just creating a platform for everybody, for the fans, for the athletes, for everybody, for the teams, right? Everybody can eat off of this one. So it's exciting. It definitely
I just got a fun thing, just thinking like, they could do like their jersey moment with Roger Goodell, right? As your Top Shot first moment. Like, that would be pretty cool to have.
Yeah. Like, up on stage.
Your jersey moment, or even like your combine moment, or even your combine moment, right? Like, we talk about like when DK ran the 4.3340, right? That's all video of that. Like, how cool would it be to have like your combine moment, like having someone's combine moment? Like, that's going to be something that, you could, that's going to be I think those will be like fun additions to like the Mekhi Becton. Like, Mekhi Becton, you're not going to find a flashy play But
That's
you
it.
get his combine when that man ran sub 5 at the 40.
Imagine if you get
like,
his 40. Oh my god.
like imagine like something
It's
like
So
that.
wild
Like,
funny.
watching that. Like that is a
Like-
great. Like a lot of people don't look for that stuff, but like man,
right, like
that platform.
like the common person's going to be like, oh, who cares? The big dude, 370 running a 40. But like
Yeah.
for the real football fans, like we know
That's
Mekhi
hilarious.
Beck is a freak of nature running that
Freak.
40. Like,
Yeah.
like to get a piece of that, like I think that's where like the NFL can separate itself
Yeah.
from the NBA, from the
I like
MLB, from the because the combine is so scrutinized and has so much tape to it that like that kind of like those kind of things become viral. Like those
Imagine-
viral moments are really
Imagine
what I think.
taking pieces like Cameo. I think Cameo it's going down the right path of finding a way to connect, celebrities, athletes with their fans, but like starting to tie some sort of Cameo type situation into these NFTs where it's not okay. I didn't just get a digital signature on this moment. I got a personalized message from so and so. Like that is the level we're seeing. Like you already saw Terry Rozier right out the gates. It's like anybody buys one of these moments from me, I'm gonna send you a signed jersey, signed ball. Come hang out with me and my boys before a game. I got you for tickets. Like that's the stuff where they're gonna find a way. Like you don't think Top Shot and all these other competitors are listening to each other? Like we're writing this down and we're gonna find a way to make it a little more doable.
But the question is he still doing that? Because
Hell no.
when he said that, they were like $850 a piece. Now they're probably worth maybe
Bet he's not doing
$100.
it.
Like
Bet he's
maybe.
not
There's
doing
no way he's not doing it.
And I saw a bunch of people. That's what I mean. Someone needs to streamline that situation because, like, he was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Like, thanks for buying one from me. Go hit up my agent." And he would just tag his agent on Twitter. Like, never saw nothing. I'm like, I'll bet you there's people that didn't see anything. And then he didn't even clarify. At first, he was like, "Come buy my moments." And then I'm gonna do this, this, and this. He didn't say buy my moments from me. So people are like, "Oh, I got it!" Like instantly, people are like, "I bought your moment. Here it is." And they tagged him, and he's like, "Nah, you didn't get that from me." And they're like, "But I already bought it." He's like,
Sorry.
hit up my agent.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
dang, that's dirty. But yeah, so there's just a great opportunity for that. I'm pumped for it. I just think we're gonna continue to. I think having these conversations makes me more excited about the current situation. Seeing my account at 6,000 something versus the 17,000 it was. But then I remember all the possibilities and the growth that's to come. And I think that's what everybody has to do. Just reground yourself. Remember where we're going. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. It's a roller coaster ride. But before we kind of wrap things up, Jay, I need you to quickly talk about what you got going on because this is one of the coolest projects that I've seen, a couple episodes in now with your Black Box show. Bro, you got to put it out there for everybody because, man, this is special. I just love how y'all are putting it together. It's raw. It's real. You already know how I feel about your skills in terms of video, but this is special. This is what we need. I made a tweet earlier today because there's just, more shit going on. Again, we saw a 13-year-old out there just get killed by the police, murdered by the police. Like it was one of the most devastating. I was like teary. I'm like, I didn't even know if I want to do this. We already had talked about the stream, but I was like, I got a 10-year-old kid. This kid is 3 years different age from my oldest son that was just on here earlier in the show. Whew, it's crazy. So to see things like the Black Box show where we're mixing in sports, but you're talking about culture and everything else too. It's powerful, man. I want to give you the stage. Tell us about it. What's going on?
Well, the Black Box show honestly started with Ray GQ, and Ray Garvin, wanting to do more than fantasy. Like with how deep we are in the fantasy community, we realized that we have a larger influence than just what can we offer you, start advice, who to draft, all these things. And so we came up with the idea of the Black Box show. And right now, honestly, it's still evolving. We're, like you said, we're two episodes in. We're still trying to figure out exactly how we're going to phrase it. It is sports driven, but we definitely want to talk about the issues and things that are going on in our lives, our mental health. That was the biggest thing in the last episode. We talked about the death of DMX in our mental health, some of the things we've struggled with, share personal stories. Because Ray and I, over the year and a half or so, we've been talking a lot. We've become really close. Like we're legitimately friends. And I do talk to him about everything and anything going on. And we're taking that to the Black Box show. We want to bring more people the content that we talk about on a regular basis, because we feel like we have so much more to offer, so much to share. There's a lot of people out there who are looking for this type of content, but they don't know where to look. And with our influence in a predominantly white space, especially, you know, like we can offer our insight into some of these situations and give our opinions and as well entertain you. Like that's the whole reason why we're there in the first place, is to make it exciting, make it fun. And of course we joke around, but we talk about serious things too. We talk about things that are really going on in people's lives, in the culture, whether it's music, sports, life, you know, anything. And I think that's the blessing of the show, is that it can be anything. You can expect us to talk about just about anything. And I think people are going to really enjoy it. And I hope it catches on more, because it's gonna become a bigger thing than I think people realize. And there's been some big fish who've been watching it. And for that, you know, I thank all of them, for people who are liking it, sharing it, commenting on it. It's on Destination Dev YouTube channel, so I would highly suggest you go check it out. It's going to come out every Tuesday. But yeah, man, it's a new project, and honestly, all the feedback we've got so far is extremely encouraging. But we're just two dudes that are trying to make a difference and help people out, be relatable, understand that I'm a single guy with no kids, and he's a man with a full-time job, full-time content creator. You know, we're just two dudes that are living two completely different lives, but somehow formed a bond, a friendship, and we just share each other's lives and experiences with the audience. And we want to build that connection with you guys even further.
I love that, man. I appreciate y'all so much. You already know, both of you guys are just doing some great stuff. And can you go ahead and tell everybody where they can find it specifically? So tell us the YouTube. I believe you guys got a Twitter handle for it as well, right?
Yeah, so you can find it at Black Box Show on Twitter and Instagram, and then on the Destination Devi YouTube channel, which is, I think, in the link of all of our bios, because we have the link in bio for Destination Devi, so you can go check it out there.
And that's BLK. That's BLK Box
BLK BOX Show on Twitter and Instagram. So you can always hit up the show. Ray and I both run that. If you ever want to shoot us a comment or retweet any of the things that we got going on there, it's highly appreciated. You know, we hope you guys share the stuff. We hope you guys enjoy it. And it's been really awesome. It's been really awesome to see all the feedback, because it's new, it's different. If you look at it, it's very different from your regular old fantasy. Like, we're doing this thing completely different. I think that's one of the things that's so appealing to people, is when they see it, they're like, whoa. Like, you wouldn't know that in this corner is where I film the show. But it looks completely different from that. It's all just set design and a little bit of creativity and a little bit of fun, and we make it happen. But we hope you guys enjoy it for sure.
Man, I love it. Keep doing what you guys are doing. I know it's really just, it's taking us to another level. And fantasy football has been great. NBA Top Shot's been great. But at the end of the day, it's about all the connections we're able to make. I mean, just us three, looking at us three having to connect it, and literally I don't even want to guess how many text messages a day are going back and forth, but it's at least 100 a day.
So many.
You know, it's wild. That's probably on the low end. But just to see, you know, Jay, you're on East Coast Canada, Brandon, East Coast US, I'm West Coast Canada, like, and we're here chatting it up every single day. And that's the power of these communities and allowing us to connect with each other. And then it's like, what do we do with those connections? Because when you're around like-minded people and people that are going to help raise the bar, what can we do to, you know, make things in the world a little bit better? And that's telling stories, sharing ideas, talking about issues, all of these things. So again, thank you so much, man, for rocking that Black Box Show. I've enjoyed the first 2 episodes, and I'm loving what's to come, because I know how much you guys care about it, and just the creativity behind it and the rawness and realness. I can appreciate that. So thank you, man. I wanted to kind of end the show with that, because that's powerful. It's important.
Thank you, bro.
Let's keep rocking it. But Brandon, anything to take us out, man? Congrats on the packs. I hope the luck continues for you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Check out the articles on DLF, man. Come on.
That's right. So you'll find me. Yeah, so you can find. I just wrote a couple articles. Wrote some articles on DLF on the rookie series on Rondale Moore and the always polar
Dynasty League football.
And I didn't.
He didn't. I did on 2 of the more polarizing fantasy football players that we have in this draft. Right, 5'7" Rondale Moore, and then good old McCorkle Jones, also known as Mac. Right. So, Mac Jones, right. 2 guys that, where the fantasy community is football wise, everybody's got the differing opinions. If you look at, we all know our guy, Ray GQ, is a huge Rondale Moore stan. And there's a lot of people that are like, he's 5'7". So let's look at there's a lot of supporting articles. There's a lot of supporting data on both sides. Same thing with Mac Jones. Mac is not your prototypical Konami code running back quarterback. But he actually surprisingly is as fast as Justin Herbert and Josh Allen, who we all can agree is good running mobile quarterback. So what does Mac, what's the outlook there? You also find me over at Destination Devi in the Discord, along with Jay and along with Ben. Jay, where are we going? Where do you find all that information? Patreon.com.
Patreon.com/allgas.
All
gas, right? We're doing
no breaks.
Yeah, there literally is no breaks over there.
None,
We just
none
keep
on
going.
that.
650 plus, man. Jesus.
650 plus,
That thing's
mocks
crazy.
everywhere, questions everywhere. I mean, that's where we all hang out, but this is kind of like a different space that we all kind of jump into. We all share a love of basketball. The three of us share a love of basketball. We share a love of sports. And so that's really what brings this kind of group together. I mean, we're always on Twitter. My handle is the same as it is in the box, BGC0614. And you can ask any one of us, or even at NFT Block Gang, ask a question, throw it in the DM, jump on the YouTube, go to YouTube and smash that subscribe button over at NFT Block Gang. We're always at fielding questions. I mean, it doesn't really matter when, where, whatever. We'll do our best to try and find the answer. I mean, we're not experts. If we were experts, we'd be whales, and we're definitely not whales. So
True. We
Future
would have been in a
whale.
lot earlier.
We like baby
if we were
whales.
Yeah,
we like
we're
little fish.
We're like the guys that are trying to catch the wave off the whales when they jump. Like we're trying to catch
We're
onto
like the
that
little
wave.
cleaner fish
We're the
around the
guppies
whales.
attached to the whale.
guppy, yeah,
that's
it.
right. Yeah, we're the little guppies that get
just riding the
swallowed
wave.
alive. Right.
Yeah, that's it.
But- so I mean, we're just trying to have a little bit of fun with this. Obviously not taking any of what we said as financial advice. None of this is financial advice, but it is pure entertainment, and that's what we're trying to provide.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you guys jumping on. Jay, I know it's your girl's birthday. Tell her thank you if she even knew you were on. If not, don't worry about it. We're cool. And
I'm busy, so I'm good now.
Brandon, I appreciate you getting some packs so we can get that rolling today. Shout out to my oldest son, Grayson, for jumping on, making his live YouTube debut. He is working behind the scenes to make a couple little videos for some pack openings. We're doing some card packs. So he's like, hey, Dad, I like what you're doing. I want to do it myself. So I'm proud of him. It's a cool little moment for me. But thank you guys so much. We will catch you next time on the NFT Block Gang.